Hey, everybody, welcome back. Another Tuesday night. Chat with the Muskrat, Creole, and Mr. Chris Souders. What's going on, buddy?
What is happening, everybody? I am on fire tonight.
I know, I saw that, man. He just randomly showed up at 7 o'clock. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, so, life is changing.
I know, I saw that, man. He just randomly showed up. That's good stuff. Hey, before we get started here, man, we got a lot of folks that was already here hanging out waiting on us. And of course, Chris gave us a little plug there in his show, and hopefully we got some traffic heading over our way. But we'll go say hello and welcome to Mr. Tommy Long with Minnow Dunkers and channel member Brenda, Catfishing with Cost. And she caught a nice blue there last week. If you guys didn't catch that, and I got to see pictures of it the other day. Congratulations, good job. There's Mike's Fishing Home. Jimmy's in the house. John Patrick Jr., 351 Cleveland. Another Rat Pack member, Fat Boy Eric Fishing. Got to run into him at the Fishing Expo up in Columbus. It's always good to run into people that you've been talking to. It's exciting time. Kentucky Redneck Outdoors. Here's my brother, River Warriors, Zach Murray, and I know Skip Stewart's right behind him. So the River Warriors are in the house, loud and proud. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We got Justin Webb. Ran into Justin at the Expo as well. Man, I really love going to those expos and getting to meet people that we've talked to but never got faced with.
Yeah.
Thomas Littlepage over at Laughing Catfishing. Man, Thomas was really digging in deep with Chris Souders over there on the channel. I was loving the questions and they were good questions.
Oh yeah. He's really interested in getting started doing it. So yeah, he was all in it. I love it.
You could tell he's learning and eager and hungry.
Oh, yeah.
So that was,
to
me, I love seeing that. It's refreshing. Got Mr. Gadgets in the house. Let's see, Takedown, David Smith, avid fisherman. We got another Rat Pack member, Fishing Free, Mr. Richard Cluck. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. I'm trying to scroll. It's outrunning me. Little Luck Outdoors. I saw that over on Chris's channel. I don't think I've seen that before. Little Luck Outdoors.
Welcome. Let's see. I see Mr. Chucky Morgan. There you go. There's Skip. I knew he'd make it in the chat. What's going on, Skip?
Stonefly 71.
Take down catfishing. Let's see, Mr. Larry. I see 3+1 Outdoors. What's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy?
Let's see who else we got here. Like I say, every time you go to look, it skips on you.
Yep.
Brian B. What's going on, Brian B? Let me take me a little drink out of my mug, Brian B.
Time out for identification. We got another Rat Pack member, JP3, in the house, as well as Whiskers and Stripes. Thanks, guys, for being part of the Rat Pack and helping the channel out. Thank you for stopping in. We got Beep Beep Uncle Jeep coming through.
Everybody's favorite troll.
There we go.
Bobcat Outdoors. What's going on, Bobcat? I see Miss Michelle from It's All Mine. Slime Action Outdoors. Let's see. War Pig Catfishing. Mike G. Bumping Mike. What's going on, baby?
Well,
Lance McCoo guy. I see Miss Annette Morgan. Justin's Fishing Fetish. Buckeye Catfishing. Let's see. Mr. Dale Hayslip in the house. Ian Tipton in the house. What's happening? Mr. David Smith. Paul Edmiston. What's going on? Glad you could join us.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for stopping in.
Let's see. Miss Chrissy Brown in the house.
She's saying hello to everybody.
She's doing a better job of it than I am. I think she's faster.
We got Brad hanging out as well. Brad is actually going to be our guest next week.
Yes.
Talking about sinkers and types of sinkers and what applications call for what types of sinkers. And
a good show.
I'm looking forward to that.
That'd be some good information right there.
It's
a good one.
Absolutely.
Yep. We got Ian Tippman. Also got to meet Ian at the show as well.
Cool.
Oh, no, wait. No, I didn't meet Ian at the show.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah. I'm getting confused.
Hey, it happened.
We had a lot of people hanging out. Quiet Man Curtis was also with us. I haven't seen him in chat, but I know he was there.
Yeah. I just scrolled past his name. I was fixing to shout him out.
Justin's Fishing Fetish.
Danimal. The Danimal. What's going on, baby?
Danimal's in the
I
house.
see Mr. Mo Barrett. What's going on, man? Hadn't seen you in a little while. Oh, look, Chris Souders is in the chat. How about that?
Look.
Hello.
Hello.
You figure we won't let him speak. You'll have to start chatting.
Yeah, I'm just
right?
Oh man, we like to try to make sure everybody feels included. And yeah, I know, Ian, daggone it. I was getting everybody mixed up and twisted around. I'm a proud Slimeburger crew member.
Let's see. Fishing with the squirrel. I believe we may have gotten everybody. I believe. Now, if we miss somebody, y'all, hey, we will get to everybody for the end of the show. Don't worry. We're doing the best we can.
If we missed you, it's because we're just excited. We're excited.
We're just two old country boys trying to make it happen. We're just trying to keep up.
Yep, that's it. That's it right there. All right. Hey, Chris, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
So if you guys weren't already over there, which I'm going to say that you probably were, but Chris Souders has Chris, tell him what you got going on. Tell him where you been, what's going on, what happened, where'd you go, where you at, and where are you going?
Well, man, there's a lot going on. I mean, I'm borderline needing medication in my head I got like 10 people up here trying to tell me what to do. So I'm borderline needing something
listen to the one that says go fish.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but then you got that one that pays you so you can go fish. You kind of got to listen to him too.
Yeah.
But no, it's been super busy. A lot of people that's watching this show probably don't know this right here. I did not say it on my channel, so exclusive Muskrat thing right here. Okay, so for everybody that watched Catfish Crazy. Catfish Crazy was an absolutely great show. Loved it. It ran on the Pursuit channel. It was an opportunity of a lifetime for me to be able to say I had my own catfishing channel.
Yes.
But unfortunately, some things come up with family. And to me, God, family, and everything else is after those two. So I had to step away from the TV show, step away from Catfish Crazy. It was taking up more time than I had with family. So I've had a lot of people ask me about that. So unfortunately, we stepped away from that. But it has opened me up to do a lot of other things that I truly enjoy. So we are back. I'm going to start. Well, I say start. I'm going to try to get back in the groove of doing some live shows. I've been doing last year. I done a lot of fishing videos. I really loved them. Still do. As soon as this weather straightens up, I'm going to get back out on the water. I've got some big vacations planned, but stopped doing the live shows on Tackle Talk Tuesdays for a while. But some things have changed with family. And looks like I'm going to be able to start kicking those back up. So super, super excited about that. There's one thing with catfishing that I love, and that's to be able to share information with you guys or everybody else watching.
And we are just as excited. Trust me, we are.
Man. I don't know. I mean, I'm not as good at reading everybody's name. I mean, you guys, Palmetto, Kelly, the whole, everybody. They do a spectacular job of saying hello to everybody. And heck, this old country boy here can't hardly read the names as fast as he gets through there,
Well, they've got us tongue tied. We're up to 86 folks watching right now. So thank you guys so much for stopping in and showing support here for Chris. And so Chris, you was at the Expo this weekend, and I was there and got to talk to a lot of different people. And so what are some of the questions or topics that were popping up over the weekend that you thought might be worth sharing here tonight?
So, the Columbus Fishing Expo was last weekend. And, I try to listen and keep an open mind whenever I'm doing these. And Dave Hohessel, he's the director of Columbus Fishing Expo. And he said, I want you to do a intro to catfishing or a basics to catfishing, how to get started. And to be honest, I was, that was one seminar, and then I'd done a more in-depth seminar later. And I was kind of like, I'll do it. That's what you want. But honestly, I didn't really think it was going to be popular.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get there and it is absolutely full. On Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, it was plumb full for a basic intro to catfishing. And I was mind blowing. And when people start asking questions, one in general, there was a young boy. I actually brought him up with me. He helped me do some things.
That's awesome.
His mother asked, this blunt question of where do I even start? Where do I even begin? Here she is with her son, and she doesn't even know where to start to catfish. And her son wants to catfish, wants to catch big fish, and so the need is there. The need for learning basics. We got so many people coming into catfishing that I think that we kind of overlook that beginner point of view, just a lot. So
And the thing about it, actually, somebody, I think Greenwell might have said this in your stream, but even those of us have been doing it for a long time. There's nothing wrong with going back to basics and not overlooking little things that some of us might take for granted or start to develop our own habits and kind of overlook or skip things. So go right ahead.
Yeah. So let's talk about something that I see pop up here. And I'm asking because I'm interested in what it is. So what is this new member thing or member thing?
Okay, so the membership thing is you can on StreamYard or through YouTube, actually, you can offer a membership. So what's going on here is, folks, we've set up a pay scale that people want to donate, whatever amount they can choose on. You set up a scale and whatever all goes there, and they're going to help support the channel, monetarily on a monthly basis, as long as they want to do it or till they just don't want to do it anymore. And, those, you have the options and abilities. So for the folks like in our channel members here, our channel members, what I'm doing is they're getting automatic free stickers and stuff sent out. We're actually going to start doing some lives that are only going to be, for channel members, something just to show some appreciation. It's not anything against the rest of the crowd. It's something to really kind of step up and show appreciation for the folks that are helping support the channel and helping us continue to bring this information and go out and do the things we love to do every week. And if you need help with it or understand it better, Chris, I'll give you a hand and help you out. But that's what's going on there. These are folks that decided. Chris needs to hear. Click screen.
That's absolutely sure for sure. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing now. Whenever I kind of stepped away from doing the live feeds, just the tips were, in chat were just starting then. So this is pretty cool to see. I mean, I'm glad to see that this kind of stuff is available for people to help, help channels and support, the information that they give out. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know better just, than any of us, when it comes down to production videos or getting out there and putting time on the water, this little bit of money here and there helps with the gas and the Better Cheddar funds. I seen Eric throw that in there.
Team Better Cheddar. That's right.
That's right.
Well, I'm never going to get away from that, so I might as well accept it and embrace it.
Hey,
but, you can blame me for that one.
These Diet Pepsis in a case, a case of Diet Pepsi is absolutely ridiculous in cost now. I mean,
I bet.
As much as I drink of that stuff, they should be just loading my truck up for me. So yeah, let's talk about some basic stuff tonight. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's where you want to start. So I've got some hooks. One of the big questions that I got at seminars was,
oh, he froze up on us.
Froze up.
All right, so Chris does have a little bit of connection issues there. He's out in the garage. As you can tell, his Sea Arc is not in the living room. It wouldn't fit. I bet if it could.
How awesome would that be to have a Sea Arc in your living room? God, it would be awesome.
Well, we'll let him get reconnected there real quick. But if you guys have questions that you would like Chris to tackle, this is a great time and platform to do it. We can throw the questions up here for you and get it. Try to get your questions
whether it's specific questions or just a topic in general, to go over the different types of rigs or anything like that,
I think he's coming back.
Are we back?
We have audio. It's coming back. Okay, here we go. Now it's coming back. Yeah, baby.
I think we're back in there now. I think we're back in there now.
Okay, we got it.
So you were starting to say a question you get a lot about is hooks.
Hooks. So, what hook do I use? Where do I even start? I mean, do I use a 10-aught Boss Cat, or do I use a 3-aught Boss Cat? And people don't realize, people don't understand, they see people catch big fish all over the country. They social media, people are proud about the big fish they catch, kind of hide the small fish they catch. But, we got to be realistic to what we're going to catch.
Yep.
If I'm going out and I'm going to fish in my normal lake for channel cats or for fish that I want to eat, I want to be realistic. If it's a 1-pound fish, 2-pound fish, then, I want to use that. That is a
There we go. There we go. Oh, wrong one. There you go.
Let's do this.
That is a 3-aught, Boss Cat hook. Okay. But if I'm somewhere that I do have the opportunity that I'm solely going to go after big fish, then maybe I want to use a 8-aught or a 10-aught. And the difference between those two looks something like that.
Wow.
That's a 3-aught and a 10-aught. Okay. So knowing realistically what we're going to be fishing after is, I think, the first step in any basic fishing scenario. I think you guys would agree that once we figure that out, then we can match our gear, we can match our hooks, our line, everything, everything in between, and be able to make good memories, on whatever size fish that we're going to be catching.
Well, here's a question I got in another seminar I went to that same weekend. Was somebody asked about offset hooks or not offset, and why?
That's an easy one for me. If you're going to use a circle style hook, definitely offset. If you're not going to use an offset or a circle hook, then offset is not a necessity, because you're setting the hook. But for me, if you're, and let's see if I can get this in focus here. You can see.
Yep, there you go. Perfect.
There we go, right there. You can see that hook is offset. Mm-hmm. So that's just going to allow that the jaw or the side meat to be exposed, from the point, be exposed and be able to get into where it needs to be that much better. If it is straight, then the way a circle hook works, it's going to be harder for that to turn back in and get hooked properly. That's my opinion. So, I would like to hear other people's opinion on that. What's your all's opinion on that?
I'm the same. Offset. To me, I always felt like if it was not offset and they got the pull, as you reel down on it, the shaft of that could actually kind of clear the way for the tip and give it a clear path of no resistance, where offset, there is no path. It's gonna stick something.
It's gonna stick something. Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, offset or not offset, that's not even an option. It's gonna be offset, even to the point to where I only use straight eye hooks. I don't use the octopus style anymore, and I snell them because I find even doing that with that trigger effect, which I learned from this guy here,
Yep.
even helps that hookup ratio that much more.
Yeah. That trigger effect, that's a big thing,
Oh, yeah.
So the last two hooks that I showed there, one was a 5/0 and one was a 3/0. And then the first two, one was an 8/0 and one was a 10/0. Give people an idea of what what different sizes they are.
So this question here is from Zach, and I know he's not talking about individual like right now. But I think what he's meaning is what bait should you use anywhere, and that's the question. The answer to that I think is what's available.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's what he's saying.
I think if I had one bait to choose from East Coast, West Coast, continental U.S., I would say gizzard shad. But you're absolutely right. I mean, if your forage fish there is brim, definitely brim. If it's red ear suckers, use suckers.
Also, real quick, I wanted to say we hit 104 people in chat right now.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you guys so much. If you're enjoying Chris being here, drop a thumbs up for us. Whiskers and Stripe asked, was that a D85 8/0 versus a Boss Cat 10/0?
Okay, so for a lot of the folks that may not know this, I know some have asked and some may not know it. So, always been a huge D85 Diachi fan. I mean, everybody. I mean, I live and died by these. These hooks won 2 national championships for me. Have.
He's got some connection issues out there, but we're gonna keep going on. So he's talking about the difference between the Boss Cat and the Diachi, and if there is a difference. So, and Zach was, that question was, focusing on beginners, where to find the bait or what bait to use, and like Chris said, whatever's mostly available in the area that you're fishing, with the exception of chicken, because there's no chicken in the water, but it works sometimes. Sometimes. Thanks, Avid.
Sometimes. But it is funny how, different areas, different bodies of water you go on, what's a 100% guaranteed bait on one body of water may not catch you a fish on another.
Yeah.
But it takes a little time on the water to figure those things out. Like me, for example, shad, not that good of a bait. I can't tell you why. That's how it is just in my area. You go 200 miles from me and all that's going to change. Learning your area, that's why it's so important.
So I'll give my 2 cents on this. He asked, do you have less snags with a regular circle hook, or would the offset be more likely to snag? In my opinion, it's more likely to snag, but that's why I want it. I want it to snag the corner of that fish's mouth.
Yep. You gotta take the bad with the good sometimes. It'll hook up on everything.
All right, we're just going to try to get right back at it like that didn't happen, Chris. You were talking about the difference between the Diachi D85 and the Boss Cat and what people don't.
Yeah. So, one, I apologize. Have no idea. Like always, if I'm on something electronical, we're going to have issues. But so everybody knows, I love D85s. Have lived and died by them, and a lot of people have asked, why did I switch from Diachi to Boss Cat? So a lot of people did not know this. Team Catfish, Diachi were made by the same company.
Okay.
Mother company is called TTI Blakemore. Well, they left TTI Blakemore, and TTI Blakemore decided to make another company called Boss Cat. With that, they see the huge growth in catfishing, and they want to, make new products for the catfishing market other than just hooks. So they rebranded their Diachis. They still sell Diachis for everybody that has confidence in the Diachi name. Still the same hook. The Diachi D85 is now the same hook as the Boss Cat Super Circle. The only difference is, they come red up to 8, and then the black nickel goes up to 10. So same hook, no difference, absolutely same. All the great features that the Diachi hooks have are in the Boss Cat. But what you're going to see is moving forward, Boss Cat is going to have a few other options for the catfishing world, and I'm excited about them coming out. I've been helping them, and I'm super excited to, whenever they come out, to introduce them to everybody, and everybody can get their hands on them, and they'll have the same great quality. I promise you it will be 100% great quality, or I would not put my name behind it.
So Freddie says, Chris, my twin, basic rig setup for a first timer.
So basic rig setup for a first timer. For me, it's just going to be a Carolina rig or a double hook Kentucky rig. Those are going to be your two.
Rope. The curse of the live stream.
Yeah. Yep.
No one is safe.
No one's safe.
No one is safe.
Poor fella.
No, right?
Thank you, Freddie, for the $2 holla.
I would hate to be the secretary at whoever his internet provider is or cell phone provider, the phone call that they're going to get probably first thing in the morning.
Yep. So let's try this. I think I figured out what's wrong with it.
Okay.
I
ain't no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas in it. I'm telling you.
I had to. Sorry, I had to.
So I think that it kept switching over to my Wi-Fi in the house instead of the hard wire. So I just shut my Wi-Fi off.
There you go.
We'll see if that helps. Hey, this old head might be getting bald, but there's a few brain cells left in there.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
There you go. We'll get it figured out.
So basic catfish rig, for me, it's either Carolina rig or Kentucky rig. No matter where you're at in the country, I think that, those two rigs right there are going to get it done. And those two rigs, whether it's river, from a boat, from a bank, in a lake, in a creek, those two rigs right there are going to get things done. They're going to catch fish,
Yep, I agree.
And I don't know, is there any bank fishing guys in the chat?
Absolutely.
A lot. Honestly,
I don't know if you guys have ever seen these or not, but these will be at the Catfish Conference. And I took a guy, for those folks that are on here that don't know that I do guide trips and academy classes as well on the water. Anyway, I took a guy fishing, and he's from out west, and he's a bank fisherman. And he had a sticker on the back of his truck. It said Muddy River Rod Holders. And I thought, well, heck, Chris Flores must be making some sort of rod holders now. But it wasn't. It's this guy, and he makes bank rod holders, and they're actually pretty daggone sturdy, pretty nice.
Okay.
If you guys, I would tell you where to go find them, but his name's Austin on Facebook, but I don't think he's got a website or anything.
Gotcha.
But if you look up Muddy River rod holders, I think you might be able to find them.
I would bet somebody out there is going to find it and put it in chat for the next about 5 minutes. I promise you.
Yeah,
somebody will find it.
Yeah. And they work pretty good.
Earlier, we had a question from JP3 asked, which one do you prefer over the Kanawha River or the Ohio River?
That's a good question. So if it is early May, so end of April, early May, I like Kanawha River. Once the Ohio River fires up, I like the Ohio River. And then it just kind of goes back and forth, depending on the weather conditions. I mean, the Canal River can produce some really spectacular fish. It actually, the upper Canal River, up around Raymond City area, produced a fish that was 1 pound from in the state record on Saturday.
I heard about it.
That Canal River has plenty of big fish, and so does the High River. But both, it really depends on the weather conditions. A lot of it, and time of year. In the wintertime, the Canal River will be just a little bit warmer normally than the High River, so it can be a little bit better in the wintertime.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I heard you mentioned it quickly, but could you go into a little more detail about what your academy classes and guide trips look like, and how people can, if they're interested in something like that, coming up here and getting with you, how they could do that?
Yeah. So last year was a trial run of what I call Slunger Cat Academy. And I've been doing Slunger Cat guide service, but last year was a trial run of Slunger Cat Academy. It's an 8-hour hands-on the water course specific to the person's abilities and wants. So if somebody comes to me and they have never tied a hook on before, and they want to learn how to go out on the water and learn, just start how to catfish, we will start from the beginning and go through. If somebody comes to me and they've been catfishing for a long time and they say, hey, I want to learn how to go into depth on reading sonars, reading a river, finding fish, finding the difference between structure and cover, finding out what fish is what, and certain times of the year, certain times of conditions, where to look and how to find stuff. That's what we do for 8 hours. Somebody wants to learn how to bump, we go out and from the beginning to the end, we learn how to bump. So it's been great. Last year was a huge success with that. And actually, I posted scheduling on a Thursday afternoon, and Friday afternoon, I was completely booked for 2022.
Wow.
So
that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you all know I'm huge faith-based, and when God decides He's going to bless you, it doesn't matter. He's going to bless you. It just he decided, hey, it's your day to sit down. I had 2 days to. I was going to be at the house anyway, and I thought, well, I'll sit down and just get my schedule together. And I started booking trips, and was full.
That's amazing.
So we're actually full for 2022. I'm going to make a post. I was actually supposed to make it today. I told an individual on Facebook I'd make it today, so I'll probably make it later this evening. Well, no, I won't after this because it's already 8:30. It's time for me to get to bed. But I'll make a post at some point tonight or in the morning, and I'm going to start a list for people that want to be put on schedule if somebody cancels.
Gotcha.
So if you're watching and you want to be put on that list, go make sure you follow Slunger Cat Outdoors on Facebook. That's where to be posted at. And then about the end of December, the 1st of January, I will actually schedule again for 2023.
Gotcha.
All right. And also, we've got the Catfish Conference coming up, and many folks in chat here are going to attend. But here in Southern Ohio, we've got a tournament going on. For those of you that remember Bank Fox, Bank and Janet Fox was on the show with us last year. They're actually going to be coming on the show again here soon, talking about a tournament that they're going to have April 16th. And Chris, if you want to tell everybody kind of what you got going on for that, so they can come to see you.
Absolutely. Now this right here gets me excited.
Me too. I mean, that's awesome.
I don't get, I get excited a lot. I can't lie. But
this I didn't think he's going to lie.
This gets me really excited. I mean, I once again, I just got a passion to help people, no matter where it's at, no matter what it is. So what I decided, Bink and Janet come to me and they asked me if I wanted to fish a tournament, and what they got going on is they're doing a benefit tournament for Vinton County Cancer Research Program, and it's going to benefit cancer research. And anytime you can help that out, I think that's a great thing. So they come to me, and I thought about it, and I thought, what can I do? I could donate something. I could write a check, but I wanted to come up with something to be able to get the word out there, to be able to spread, spread this around, not just to our normal little group of people. Right.
Right.
So I set up a benefit giveaway. The person, whoever follows Slunger Cat Outdoors on Facebook, they can go to the original post and they can enter to win the fishing trip with me during the tournament. So whoever wins, they get the opportunity to come down. We'll go out, fish the tournament. And the only catch to that is whatever we win, if we win, gets donated back to the program.
Gotcha.
They can enter it by going to the original post on Slunger Cat Outdoors, and they got to follow directions on there. And then last weekend, I had a box at the Columbus Fishing Expo that was for their second entry. And then if you come to the Catfish Conference, come over to the Sea Arc Boats booth, find me. I'll have my box there and entries, and you can get entered for a third time. And then I'll be drawing Saturday afternoon live from the Catfish Conference. I'll probably have Bink or Janet or one of the other ladies that'll be around come and draw it out. So it's all realistic and, real. And we get to find out who gets to go fishing, and we're going to have a good time.
That's awesome.
If they want it to be, it's not a have to, but if they want it to be, I'm going to film it. And it's going to be 100% having fun.
Absolutely.
I hope, I'll be happy with whoever wins it, but I really hope that maybe a kid wins or somebody that's never even fished for catfish. That'd be awesome. So
now I feel bad for wanting to win.
I know, right? Hey, can you imagine your first catfish being caught with Chris Souders?
That would be, you talk about hooking a kid. That'd be it right there.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. And we have gotten, I want to think somewhere close to 400 entries already.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I can tell that the entries on the bowl up there was quite a few, but not, obviously I can't see everything.
Yeah. It's, between Facebook and last weekend, it's been pretty awesome.
Hey, I accidentally just took it down. Oh, there it is. Ian asked, do you take them out on your boat, or are you also available to go out on their own boat and teach them their sonar?
So unfortunately, whenever I was trying to figure out the dynamics of this,
right,
the way insurance works, I have to take them out on my boat.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to, when I first started doing it, or, thinking about how I was going to do it, I wanted to be able them to bring their gear and their boat, their rig, and then me help them figure out how they can use it to 100%. But then, talking to the insurance, they said, absolutely not. If you're going to be the captain, for us to cover anything, it has to be in your boat.
Yep. That's right.
So that makes sense.
So what I'm going to make sure I do from here forward, I will always be running Humminbird and Lowrance, and I am now running Lowrance Active Target for all you guys that are interested in live imaging. That is an absolute awesome tool.
Heck yeah, that's a lot going on right there.
Not this year, but next year I will probably be doing strictly live scope classes, specific just to active target. Those will be on their own because it is it is absolutely worth every penny that I put into it, and everybody no Garmin, unfortunately not, but with that comment about no Garmin, Lowrance and Garmin used to be sister companies. So they're very, very, very close in what you see, the settings, all the features. So with working with Lowrance, you can get right on or really, really close with Garmin.
That's good.
I just can't help myself sometimes.
I know it. I know it. Will there be better cheddars on the boat?
I don't know who's the bigger kid, me or Roger. I really don't know.
I'd say all three of us give a pretty good run.
Probably.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Guys, we're looking for questions. If you guys got any in chat there, we kind of left tonight's show. We talked beforehand, Chris and I, about do we want to go over a certain topic, or do we want to kind of leave things open? And we talked about doing the basics, rigs, gear, and things like that, and then kind of letting you guys guide the show from there. So if you guys got questions or anything that you would like to talk to Chris about, I know for a fact that you can message Chris and call him, and he'll get back with you and help you any way he can. But
yeah,
he's live and right here in front of you. If you want to ask him something, then
I can definitely vouch for that, because when I was first getting started, before Creole Catfishing ever existed, I'd love to know how many messages that I sent this guy asking about my area in particular, trying to figure things out. And God bless him, he never admitted that he got aggravated with me or anything. And it just went from there. He never admitted it. Let me say that.
Hey, I never ever get aggravated with anybody. My wife will look at my phone and she will sometimes just start laughing at the amount of notifications that I have.
Oh yeah.
All I say is, don't get frustrated or aggravated at me if it takes me a day or two to answer.
Oh yeah.
I
would get so excited when he'd answer me back. I'm like, oh, stop everything. Hang on, let me read this.
Yeah. So let's, one of the big, another thing with hooks that I get a lot of questions about is line size. I think we all take it for granted that that we just know what line to use or what size line.
That's right. That's right.
That's the actual next question. There was about line, what poundage, what color.
Okay. So, for me, I do a lot of river fishing. I do a lot of, lake fishing. If I'm channel catfishing, I'm going to say 10, channel cats in Sandusky Bay get pretty big, but I'm going to say channel catfishing, smaller catfish fishing, then I'm using, see if I get in focus there.
You might have to back it up. There it is.
There you go. There you got it.
So that's slime line, 30-pound line. Love it. That is the orange. I really like that orange. You can see it really good.
I like orange.
Then for my big river catfishing, flatheads, big blue cats, anchored and drifting, and not counting bumping, okay, but everything else, then I use, let's see if I can get that in focus there.
There we go.
50 pound.
50 pound?
50 pound slime line. Okay. Of course, you guys, well, some of you might have seen it, but if I am bumping, then I'm using braided 65-pound Power Pro. Spider wire as well. There's some other lines, braided lines that I like as well. That just kind of, you match your line up to the fish, and the gear that you're using. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We got a bunch of questions now. I asked these guys to give us some questions, and boy, did they. We've got piles and piles of questions. So quick one here. What kind of rod and reel should a beginner use starting out catfishing?
Spinning. Spinning reel is by far, for a beginner, the best way to go. You can get quality in case you do hook into a big fish. They're easy to cast. They're easy to operate. And normally you can get a fairly decent combo for a pretty good price.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Chris, can you still catch fish without electronics?
Can you? Absolutely.
Ooh.
And I would love to see, I would actually I'll make a challenge right here because I love challenges.
Yeah.
I would like to see a tournament with zero electronics.
I like
Zero electronics on a body of water that nobody has been on.
Neutral ground.
Yep. Because that's going to bring out the old school
Yeah.
and reading rivers.
Yeah.
And being able to do your due diligence before you get to that body of water, and know how to read a water when it's flooded, read water when it's low, and really be able to pull your research together online without having electronics on the water.
I love that.
Well, Roger, that gives me an idea for Sunday now, don't it?
Yep. Here's a good question here. When you drag baits, what angle do you feel is best for the rod holder? So we got the 33-45 monsters. We got the Smackdown rod holders.
These are the what is those 535s or 35, something like that. But I like that 30, 30-ish degree angle, 30, 35, 33 degrees.
Okay.
But for me, I like that for anchoring and for dragging. I don't like for my rods to be, way straight up. A lot of people do. And, I've heard a lot of people's reasoning behind it, that rod being able to bend over and get a better hook set. But for me, personal preference, I like, those rods to be laid out just a little bit.
I got you. He was breaking up on us. I think it finally.
Oh, nope, it's back.
We still got it.
Yeah.
It was trying to give out on you, but it's still hanging in there.
Do I still have the Dynasty? So actually, I got the Dynasty back from the insurance company, and it's actually getting fixed at Sea Arc. And then I'll be getting it back before too long.
Cool.
What was that last one?
What about the Sea Arc haul? Do you like, and how is it compared to a Deep V haul by Scott?
So Scott, this is not a Deep V in any way, shape, or form. I will never ever say that a Sea Arc haul is a Deep V. So it's hard to compare the two. A Deep V is definitely going to be able to handle rougher water better. But what the Mod V or the style that the Sea Arc boats have is that 15-degree haul, and that gives you a better pad, more stability. If you're ever in a Deep V boat and you walk to one side or the other, that boat will want to roll on you. To where a boat like this is going to be more sturdy, more stable side to side. It's going to allow you to get into shallow water because it's going to draft shallower. That's that's a lot of the reasons that I like it. Is the ability to get into shallow water, stable. If you walk from one side or the other, it doesn't roll. Anytime a V bottom rolls, if you're on anchor, you'll notice it rolls and then the boat will kind of move side to side.
Yep.
Anytime that boat moves side to side, you're moving your baits. And that's a huge thing with me. Even if you're drifting, just vertical drifting down the river, anybody that's ever done it, you're liable to catch 2, maybe 3 fish at one time. You kind of get into a little pocket of fish, right? Mm-hmm. So if you hook a fish on one side of the boat, and a couple people run over to that one side of the boat, you're kind of pulling those other baits away from them fish.
Yeah.
To where if they was flat, there's a possibility you could have caught another one on the other side. Kind of a couple reasons that.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, and and for those people who might not know, like a true John boat is more of like a 7-degree hull. Because that's what mine is, my Triton.
Yeah.
And and that degree in that hull, it's a sacrifice between stability, like he said, and handling in rough water. And at 15-degree on those Sea Arcs and similar boats, you're kind of bridging that gap between a John boat and that Deep V. You're getting the handling, some of the handling of a Deep V but you're getting some of the stability of a John boat. You're right there in between the two.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
This question here is a little bit deep, but Chris, do you think that the salt wash will raise the salinity in a river, and will the fish turn on? Now, I'm going to admit that I'm not sure what a salt wash is.
So are
Off
you
the roads, maybe the icy roads, the salt in the drainage systems, maybe?
So I would like for him to clarify that a little bit more, but I think what he's talking about is definitely that, that, but and if he comes back and knows for sure, then I've got some details that go into that very well. But let's see.
First thing I was thinking of is some of those loading areas that do load and unload salt, and if that stuff getting into the water as they're loading and unloading barges of salt, if that might have something.
Okay. So I think the next world record will come from a lake. Absolutely. I don't. It's not that I don't think big rivers have the opportunity for monster fish like 130, 140, pound blue cats. But I think that our ability to catch that fish once it's hooked, the percentage of catching that fish in a big river is so low versus us being able to catch it in a lake.
Mm-hmm.
That percentage is higher. So I think I would say lake. Absolutely.
I agree with that. And one of the things in my mind is they can just get fatter and fatter. They don't have to fight the current. They don't have to fight, they can, as they pack on pounds, they don't burn them off nearly as quickly as fish do in these big rivers.
Yeah.
So he is talking about salt, on the road salt.
Yeah.
So I don't know that necessarily affects it. One thing I have noticed though is if we get a lot of snow and a lot of ice, that when that starts melting, we get a lot of that mountain snow runoff. That affects the bite. It really will stop that bite. It seems like when I don't know if it's the nitrogen in the snow or what it is, but that seems to really affect the bite more so than the salt. Now the salt, I have no idea. It's hard to really know how much salt would be going into the waterway.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility. I mean, that it would raise the salinity level, but I don't think that it could raise the salinity level to a parts per million where it would actually affect. I think that that it would get washed out so quick that it really wouldn't affect it.
That salt water don't bother them blue cats down here. I can tell you that. Don't bother them.
So here's another one. Now I know Brad and them, they run the live scope as well, so they've got a lot of stories to tell and experience with it.
So one thing that I have really been focusing on is learning bait with live scope. That is the main reason I bought it to start with. So I was running guide trips, and I would have to go out the day before a guide trip and catch bait, and which meant that I had to cut my trips down by one because I had to have a full day of catching bait. Well, I decided to go with the active target live imaging to be able to cut my bait catching down to the morning of. And learning bait has really blown my mind to how quick shad are, how they react to the nets. For instance, I was throwing a net on hundreds and hundreds of gizzard shad, and it was during the day in clear water. And as soon as that net would pop open in the air, you could see those shad just scatter like cockroaches. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. And I would throw the net and not catch a one, but on the screen, I'm seeing hundreds and hundreds of big gizzard shad. So learning how those shad reacted to me taught me so much. So then I'm starting to incorporate it into the fishing side of things. How those fish react to me, how those fish react to the bait. Like he asked, how are they chasing bait?
Right.
In the live scope? Are they seeing and feeling the boat and us and our presence and moving or sucking down in the mud? How that's affecting them. So that's kind of where I'm moving toward starting to learn that a lot.
Gotcha.
So have you started? Have you had more success than throwing in the dark, say before the sun comes up and whatnot?
Absolutely. If there's any tip that I can give any single person, it is if you're going to go catch bait and the water is clear and warm and you go during the day, you absolutely have no idea if you're around bait or not, because they are so fast, it will blow your mind. And I throw a heavy net. Not a heavy net, but a net that sinks fast.
I got you.
I throw a 1-inch net with 1 pound per foot, and it's a 10-foot net that opens up to 20 foot.
Yeah.
A monster net that catches bait. And
Right.
For those baits to be able to get out from underneath that net within seconds, it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brad says the same thing. Live scope for bait is worth it all by itself.
Yep.
And
I crappie fish too. I also run crappie guide trips. So, being able to have that is going to allow me to go from 1 trip a day to doubling up on trips.
Wow.
So just because I can knock somebody's limit out in a half a day, because it doesn't take me that long to figure out how deep they are. I just put it down. Boom, they're at 12 foot. I put everything at 10 foot, 11 foot, and we go down through there, spider rigging, rods go down, crappie go in the live well, we go back to the dock.
It's a good chance we'll be running into you at Rocky Fork then, huh?
Yeah, well, Paint Creek, I love Paint Creek.
Paint Creek's really good too.
Yeah, I'll be over there with Cross Catfishing team.
Yeah, Betty and Brandon Cross.
Yeah. I might go up to Deer Creek this year. I've never been to that lake.
Deer Creek last year, man, it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal, crazy.
Yeah. So when do they raise that lake back up?
I think it's March 1st. Actually, I think it's a holiday. I can't remember which holiday it is. They start raising it on a holiday.
Okay.
Because you can't get a boat in it right now. It's way down the winter pool. Now they are catching them at the campgrounds, or not the campgrounds, but by the lodge. You can actually walk right down to the water by the lodge and catch them from the bank. But I don't know how frozen it is.
Yes. So that question right there is a huge absolute yes. The trolling motor will scatter them. It seems like everything, what I'm noticing on LiveScope, about when that trolling motor gets to about within 10 to 12, 15 foot of that bait, they are gone.
Really?
Yep. Now, and it blows my mind because, before I didn't have a live, live scope or live imaging. So I was just throwing a net, and
right.
You might catch them right beside the boat. So I would love to know at that time how many baits were in the area. How many baits was I scaring? I mean, you could have been scaring hundreds of thousands of baits, Yeah.
One of the things that we do is, I know with me and Zach and me and Skip as well, is we kind of get moving in the right direction. Then we corral the bait.
Absolutely.
I know you do. I've seen you. I seen you coming up the Crooked Creek one day, just banging the net. And I'm like, what in the world is he doing? He's making all kinds of noise.
I saw that on a video you did. I'm like, what is he doing? And I finally figured out what you were doing. And I was like, that's an awesome trick.
Yeah. Yeah. You spook him bad boys up into a corner.
Yeah. Because we do that with gray mullet during the summer, to go catch alligator gar. Same thing, but we're running with the big motor. We're running with the big motor and back them up into that shallow water and you throw a cast net one time and you got all you want, Never thought about that with shad or anything else.
Yeah, it really helps if there's a couple people in the boat, somebody controlling the boat and somebody throwing the net. But you can do it by yourself too. It's very effective.
Did you mount the active target on a single pole, or did you put it on the trolling motor?
So I have mine on the trolling motor. I have a Minn Kota Tarova, I got a 112. But I have it on the trolling motor on the head. One thing I'm thinking about doing is on the next boat I get, putting an all tracks on, which is, you can still have the iPilot features, but it's not a like the Power Drive or Tarova as far as how it deploys and comes up. And that allows you to put a pole on the trolling motor as well, so everything goes up and down at the same time. Everything's super nice and neat.
I got you.
But right now it's on the trolling motor, and that I don't care a whole lot for. I wish it was separate. And that may be something that I change in the near future, is putting it on its own separate pole. It's just it kind of is. I don't like to have things cluttered up. So if I can figure out something that's nice and neat on the front and clean and doesn't get tangled on stuff, then I'll put a single pole up there. But until then, I'd probably stay on the trolling motor.
Got you. Thomas says, so would it be better to drift with the wind or current to catch bait to keep down on noise?
No, not really. They know the boat's there. They know you're there. They can feel it. They can see it. For me, the faster you can move, the better. They're going to be moving fast. So if you got momentum, if you're going with the trolling motor and you got momentum and you throw that net, they're already moving. It's almost like leading. And if you're out gun hunting and you got a deer that's running or a rabbit, you're leading that animal, and that's kind of what you're doing with that net and that boat moving at the same time.
I got it. Yeah, that live scope really, even talking to crappie fishermen and stuff, man, it really changes the way perceptions and wives' tails and things that we've all thought fish did and how they react, and some stuff we were completely wrong.
Yeah. I was always under the thought process that if I go through an area throwing a net, those gizzard shad are gone. They're scattered. And
no, don't stop now.
Come back,
baby, come back.
He'll be back in a minute.
I hope you didn't hear that part.
We're such kids.
Yeah. Hello.
It's trying to let you back in.
It's trying. A little bit of broken audio. Okay, you coming back slow now.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess the Wi-Fi thing wasn't the fix, was it?
It's coming back slow.
All right. So.
Well, I guess I jinxed it.
Well, I'm showing on there. I don't know what the deal is. Huh. You can't see me on there at all.
Yeah.
We can see it. Right now it's real pixelated and the audio is real blotchy, but it's starting to come back around.
Huh. That's interesting. I don't understand why it's doing that.
Bobcat says Chris always has his mouth open when he freezes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right there. It's like Dukes of Hazzard cliffhanger said.
Yeah.
Come back next week to figure it out. All right. So where were you at? Because we was hanging on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost it. What was we talking about?
Last thing I remember talking about was throwing the net, heading the bait.
Oh, yeah. You're leading, by going faster, you're leading those baits whenever you throw the net on them. Can you hear me now?
Tell the wife the Netflix and chill needs about an hour break.
That's for sure. I'm gonna have to go in there and kick everybody off Wi-Fi.
That'll happen too. Take up that bandwidth, and it'll.
You saw Daniel's comment. $100,000 boat can't keep internet.
Oh, that's so
No
true.
one is safe. No one is safe from the internet gremlins. I keep saying that.
Oh man, that's
Brutal.
100% true.
Brutal.
That's okay.
Be nice, guys. Be
Yeah.
nice.
Let it fly. Let's have it.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
have fun with it.
Chris got big shoulders. He can handle it.
Oh yeah.
There's Cody from 3+1 Outdoors. Carmel Muncie's in the house. I know we missed a lot of big skips in the house. We missed a lot of hellos. Paul Frick, Jerry Parker's in the house. Chris was in the zone there and just going through and being respectful. I'll try to stop interrupting him more than I have to, but we appreciate you guys all stopping in. We still got 96 people.
Yeah. You
hanging
notice
out.
with 90-something people in the house, this is the slowest I've seen chat move, which basically means everybody's like
Listening.
glued to, like me. I'm missing everything. I'm just watching here.
Yeah.
So he said you always thought that after throwing the net, the shad left, like scattered out.
Yeah. There we go. Finally, somebody that was listening. That was a test. That was a test, and you passed, Cody. So yeah, I mean, I always thought that you throw the net if you're going through an area and they left. But what I'm finding out is if they're in that area, they want to be in that area, and they'll circle back around to that area. Now they're harder to catch the next time around, but they're still there.
Right.
I'll throw the net and wonder where they go. I'll turn the boat back around, and right there where I threw the net again, they're back to where they was at.
So do you feel like after you've thrown the net, half a dozen times that by that point, they're getting pretty skittish and difficult?
Yeah. They're definitely more difficult to catch, but there's something wherever they're at that point in time, there's something there that they feel comfortable or want. And so they'll come back to it. Now, obviously they know what's up, and they know as that boat comes to them, there's something going to be trying to capture them under the water, but they still want to be there.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I know Zach and Skip and I, take consideration when we plan our trips to the river and we're going to catch bait that morning. We want to be the very first boat on the water, the very first net thrown wants to be us, because after that, it's going to get difficult. What are we laughing at? What I miss?
Mr. Gadget Fishing.
Right.
Got the froze part down.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh. Yeah,
you
I
guys
got that froze part up to par, baby. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, he's got an auger sitting back there behind him somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Buddy heater on his feet. Is it cold in the garage?
Oh yeah, it is. I actually started the heater. It's very cold out here, actually. But I started the heater, but I forgot that I opened up the door to the top of the garage where I put stuff in. I didn't close it the last time I was up there, so all my heat's going up to the roof. Yeah.
I would tell you how cold it is at my house, but Roger will fire me.
Yep.
He hates when I do that.
Yeah. We really don't care,
Yeah. Louisiana, that's not cold.
It's 72 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably went outside in shorts today too, didn't you?
Close. It was close.
It's supposed to be 60 here tomorrow. I've got a lot of stuff I should be doing, but man, I'm wanting to go fishing bad. I know we're supposed to get like 15, 16 mile an hour winds by noon.
Which direction?
Oh yeah, I didn't even.
It's probably southwest.
I thought it was southwest. Yeah, when I looked yesterday, but I don't know that. Actually, 2 days ago when I looked.
The canal won't be too bad up the canal, but if you're on the high, that's going to be pretty nasty.
Yeah, we got a wind advisory.
Yeah, Roger gives me a hard time during the winter, but about July and August, yeah, he ain't trading with me then.
No.
No.
Hey, here's a good question from Cody. One of you guys bring that up, or I'll read it here. It says, there we go. So a good intermediate cast net thrower, 4 to 5 inch shad. So Cody, I would and I always say this because I don't want to get somebody in trouble. Check your laws and your regulations for your area.
Yep.
Find out what the biggest net is that you can possibly throw, and then take it from there. So if you're trying to catch 4 to 5 inch gizzard shad, you're going to need a 3/8 inch net, and that net is going to sink very, very slow. You could probably get away with a 1/2 inch, but some of your smaller shad, on that 4-inch side are going to get gilled. So 3/8 is going to be best.
Yep.
So,
did he freeze again?
He's trying to freeze again, but
Trying to.
Come on.
he's talking sweet to it.
Yeah,
He's trying.
One of the reasons he asked the question is because we fish the same areas. We fish the same water.
Yeah.
But the wind tomorrow is supposed to be south-southeast till noon, and then changing to south and southwest the rest of the day. The wind, the major wind is coming from south-southwest. The light wind in the morning is going to be southeast.
Yeah.
All right. Can you guys? Am I there?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're good.
Yep. Got you now.
Okay. So I'll stretch my legs.
Sit down. Where are you going?
I don't know. I'm froze up. But yeah. So 3/8, and I would go as big as you possibly can go, and then from there will kind of depend on the weight size. So if you're in an area that allows you to throw a 10, 12 foot net, then 1 pound per foot because you got a big net.
Yeah.
If you're in an area that you have to throw a smaller net, like here in Ohio, we can only throw a 5 foot net legally. So you're going to want to go a little bit heavier. But what you risk with that is once you get into deeper water, and it doesn't have to be that deep, a 3/8 inch mesh net in 8 foot of water will cone very rapidly, very bad, because you've got a lot of weight trying to pull a net down through water.
Yeah.
And the holes are small, so you got a lot of resistance, and it just kind of
It'll balloon it up. Yeah.
So that would be my recommendations for you, and hopefully that helps.
Just to clarify, Paul asked, you asked about the wind direction, and
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just figured it was because you know the area and what the conditions will be like for me.
Yeah, so I know the area that he's fishing, and the wind direction makes a huge difference. If you're in an area that has current, if the wind is blowing with the current, it's not too bad. But if you're in an area that has current and the wind is blowing against the current, it can get very dangerous very quick.
Yep.
Get choppy, especially the saying 15-mile-an-hour wind. So
yeah, Roger and I were talking about that earlier before we went on air. The exact same thing. Man, those big rivers get rough.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a good question from Brad, and he's tippy-toeing on your favorite subject.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the best time to target flatheads on the Ohio River, and what areas do you target first? So
first second week of May through the second week of June is going to be your prime areas or prime times for flatheads. That's whenever they're going to be eating real heavy, and they're going to be moving a lot. Good places are definitely feeding areas, creek mouths, industries, and ledges. Not so much cover, as what you would normally think of whenever you think of flatheads, but they're eating and they're moving. So we want to go to those places that are going to, be the most successful, which are creek mouths, industries, and channel ledges. Now, any place that you can find a funnel or a point within that is going to be, the next step as far as success. What areas would I target first? For me, it's definitely, creek mouths, points, funnels, things like that before I go to open water ledges. The higher percentage area is going to put you in front of more fish. And then, in the springtime, whenever they're, first coming up, first feeding, it's just going to be a matter of putting yourself in front of as many fish as you can, and kind of, I don't want to say luck of the draw, but getting lucky enough to be in front of that right fish at the right time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Matt wants to know if you've ever used the short shank offset circle hooks, and if so, what's your hook set ratio?
So I used to use Gamakatsu circle hooks, octopus style. They had the bent shank, but they were long. They weren't the shorts, and they were super sharp. Gamakatsu is a great hook as far as hooking anything and everything. With that is they wouldn't necessarily always, the percentage of them wouldn't get hooked where it's supposed to be. You might have them hooked in the roof of the mouth, in the bottom of the mouth, in the gill plate, something like that. So as far as the short shanked, I don't have a lot of experience with that. I've always used the normal sized shanked, but the double action style of hook is what I really prefer. I don't prefer a true circle hook.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference. Let's see if I can get this in focus here, so you guys can see the way that this point comes. A true circle hook will actually roll back and down a little bit. And I don't know that I have any.
I know I don't have any right here.
Let me see if I can find one. Hold on a second.
Well, now we don't know if he froze or he just.
No, we're going way back in the archives. I'm talking. I mean, this box has seen some better days.
Well, if that box could talk, huh?
Oh man,
Chris Thomas is already asking for the whiteboard to come back, so keep that in mind.
Yeah,
as you work back into these live streams, that whiteboard is. I don't know if you could probably still sell some of your drawings. I know we was raffling them off at one point.
Hey, we might just have to do that. All right, so let's see here. I've got some other hooks. So that is a Creole style hook.
Yep.
This is a octopus style, meaning that is bent back. The shank's bent back, and these are all an octopus style. This is a Gamakatsu, and that is a true circle with a
octopus
shank. And you guys, these hooks, these Gamakatsus, all these hooks other than this Creole, this Creole is not offset. It's straight. Mm-hmm. Everything's in line. This
save that image.
It froze on a good shot.
That's definitely offset hook.
Yeah. See that true circle that he's holding, that looks more like the hooks, the brand that I use. It rolls hard and straight down like that.
Yeah, that's a true circle hooks. I'm stuck on these, no pun intended. The Diachi and or Boss Cat hooks as well. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, Zach started using them and watching it's not so much how much better they hook up, because I do think they hook up well. I think they stay hooked so much better.
Yeah.
I could actually, if he had different name brands, like if he had Gamakatsu and Diachi on his rods, when he unhooked a fish, I can almost tell him which hook it was just by watching how hard it took him to get the hook out.
Yeah. Yeah. See, the ones I use, I find like that.
Yeah, you're good. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
Do you ever fish Wilson and Wheeler?
Yes, sir. Big Skip fishing. I'm actually going to be on Wheeler for 10 days.
What?
Straight. Woo. Yes. I have to go down and work the Sea Arc tournament. For Sea Arc Invitational. So I will be down there for that, but I will be down there. I'm going to take a little vacation, a little siesta, and do a bunch of fishing, stock up on some skipjack while I'm there, and just have some fun. Get some videos, some social media stuff. I love it down there.
Hey, Skip at Clearview Outdoors, I know he knows what it means. So we're talking about keeping it basic, for a lot of folks on here. If you could break down what a funnel is for folks.
So everybody knows what a funnel is for, like oil, for putting gas in a vehicle, or a mower or whatever. You got something that starts bigger here and funnels everything down in one direction. So what that is in a body of water is a topographical feature that causes fish or an animal, and this can be a lot of things from deer, rabbits, coyotes, foxes, whatever, to fish in the water. It forces those animals to take a certain path.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can find where 2 points in a lake come together closer, well, now you have cut your percentage down, maybe 75% or 50%, because those fish now have to go around those points, and everything is coming to a certain area. So you find that area, and that is going to be a funnel, going through that, and that's going to allow you to have a higher percentage of catching more and bigger fish.
Absolutely, or a bottleneck, as some people call it.
Yep, bottlenecks, things like that.
Yep.
So Matt wanted to know so how is the double action different from a J hook? He thinks they kind of look the same. So
yeah. So a double action, like these Boss Cats, Diachis, they're a double action. A J hook is straight where you set the hook. Now you can let the rod set the hook on a J hook. It will happen. I know many people that do that, and it works. But what this double action hook is, it is a mix between J and circle hook per se, right? So you're still going to get the features of the hook percentage being hooked in the jaw and in the lip more so than it swallowing it is going to be higher. But also for me, the biggest thing is, for beginners that have a mistake of jerking the rod or yanking it up out of the rod holder, things like that. You still have the percentage of catching the fish. You can still set the hook a little bit and get away with it. And that allows you to make, those folks to make those mistakes, to where a true circle hook, you have to let that rod load up. You have to let that fish turn so that hook then turns back into the jaw of the mouth.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's a good explanation. And those are the kind of questions, that are great to see. If you're just not sure of something, or something just didn't make sense, especially when you got somebody here that can give you the visual to go along with it. It's great.
Hey, so this David, that ain't gonna help me. That ain't gonna help me. I have a hard wire ran from my garage into the modem inside the house.
Jeez.
And it is plugged directly into my laptop. So only thing I can figure is everybody needs to call Spectrum and tell them that in Oak Hill that they need to get their internet fixed.
See, they're going to get that call. See, I told you.
Yeah,
I told you.
Somebody's getting a phone call.
Probably not a nice one either.
They just don't understand.
War Pig, we'll see you. I know everybody's looking forward to going out and doing some fishing this weekend.
You better believe it.
I know that Zach and I and Skip had talked about possibly Saturday. I think actually War Pig and I had talked about possibly going Sunday. I think Ian and I said something about maybe going Friday.
It'd be a good weekend.
When are you going to get back out next, Chris?
I have 2 academy classes this weekend, one Friday and one Saturday. So hopefully the weather will hold out, and I'll be able to get those 2 folks out on the water this weekend and get them some confidence and catching some fish.
This question actually came through earlier, and I don't remember who asked it, but who got you started in the catfishing? What's your favorite catfish? I'm a huge flathead fan, and we already know we know the answer to that one, but we'll let you go and answer for everybody.
Yeah, so I'm a huge flathead fan as well. I actually started catfishing for blue cats, drifting for blue cats. But once I really got the, inkling to go after flatheads and the challenge of catching multiple big flatheads and chasing those big flatheads, it was over for me. It was all about flatheads. But no, I mean, getting into catfishing, I used to race motocross. I raced motocross for several years. I was blessed enough racing that I was able to win 2 outdoor championships and an indoor championship.
Awesome.
And that was on quads. So I was very competitive person.
I love that.
There it is.
Roger, I think you scared him.
He started looking for his rods.
He started looking around.
Where's that?
I meant to do that earlier. I was like, oh, man, I forgot. We got the reels screaming for the $10 super chat. Thanks, Uncle G.
Heck yeah.
All right, sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, that's okay. That's worth it. That's worth it right there. But yeah, so, was racing and how racing goes. You wreck, you get hurt, young kids come into the program, come in and you get pushed out, you're only young for so long. You can only do it for so long. And me and my buddy, I had a really good friend. He was actually my first tournament partner. We always fished together and we started fishing and we had a 17-foot bass tracker. Well, it was my dad's actually. And we went out on a river called Little Sandy. That's where we first started the first night. Caught nothing but little tiny channel cats and some flatheads and we was hooked. We was the only boat out there, and had a fun time and got up the nerve to go out on the big water, the high river. We'd go look at it, but we'd never go out there. Mm-hmm. And one day we're like, we was going out there. That's our goal was to go out there and try to catch a blue cat. And we was going out through there and we was just putting along. We had that boat just going as fast as we could. And here come a barge upriver. And that barge passed us going upriver.
Oh,
and we had a 9 horsepower motor on this 17-foot bass tracker.
Oh boy.
And the wakes off that boat scared the living bejesus out of us.
Yeah.
And we thought we thought we was done, but we made it through. We cleaned our britches. We had to change our underwear. Yep. And we went to fishing, but we realized we needed a bigger boat.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it all began. Me and Red went from there and we bought an old tracker Targa Deep V with a 90 horse on it. And man, we thought we was in there and we fished with that boat for a long time. And we started tournament fishing with Ohio Hills Catfish Club at the time. And we just kind of went from there, Red fished with me for a lot of years. And then he decided he wanted to kind of go back and start racing a little bit with his family. And he sold his boat and I continued fishing and love it. I just found my competitive nature in tournament catfishing. And now I found a new love for teaching folks how to catch catfish.
There you go again.
Hey, Big Skip here dropping the partner bribe for Chris. His home lake is Wheeler and Wilson. You get down there for 10 days. I seen him say a minute ago. Thanks, Big Skip, for that. And Patriot James asked, do you ever use floats for catfish?
Absolutely.
So he uses, I know, I think you've seen the big, the big floats that Patriot James makes, the lighted bobbers and all that stuff.
I thought I had one somewhere. I can't. Maybe I don't have it no more. But yeah, the styrofoam ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Noodle style.
Yeah, I like using them, especially even in the lakes, or not in the lakes, but in the rivers. I will put those out way behind the boat if I'm drifting, and get them, just way out back behind the boat, as far as I can get them away from the boat.
Uncle Lou asked if you went over the new bumping reel. Uncle Lou, he went live on his channel right before this, and so he did go over the reel there. If you want to check that out, and
another one.
Flip the clicker. He's running. There you go. The Akuma.
Yep. It's a great little reel. A lot of good features on that thing.
How much line capacity do you think, Chris, with that 65-pound braid? How much do you think you can get on there?
Well,
That's the question I had. And,
That's one question
small
I had.
diameter.
so this is 150 yards. This
Okay.
spool right here, and the reel says at 20 pound it'll hold 160.
Mhm.
14 pound it'll hold 260, and 12 it'll hold 300. But
Mhm.
I can normally get 2 reels, out of this, depending on how full I want them. But for me,
Okay.
comfortably 2 reels out of this. So, 75 yards,
Okay.
of line, which that doesn't seem like much now that I'm thinking about it.
You should.
Maybe I'm putting the whole spool on there.
You got to watch, because sometimes you'll end up with those 300-yard spools.
Yeah,
You might be putting a half of a 300.
Yeah.
I bet you that's what it is, because
Yeah.
hey, let me check.
Yeah,
I got you,
I
Dan.
know. I ask because sometimes we bump in some really deep water. That's why
Yeah.
I'm asking. Yep,
Yeah,
300 yards.
that,
Sure enough.
that makes more sense.
Okay.
Yep.
So you
So-
put a good 150 on there.
Yeah, I'm putting this whole spool on here. That's right, because I normally would buy, if I remember now, I normally would buy this spool, and all they had was these spools.
Yeah.
Got you.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good for a reel that size.
Yeah, I knew that didn't sound
Yeah.
right.
So this is a question we get a lot, and I'm sure you do as well. As a bank fisherman on a new lake with limited bank access, how do you choose where is best to try? And I think I know where you'll go, but
Yeah. So, for me, it's research. A lot of it is research. So you got,
Mhm.
even as a bank fisherman, you have a lot of tools at your disposal. You got Google Earth, and you got Navionics or Lake Master, whichever one you choose to use. So, get those and lay those out, and then go through and mark where you have ability to fish from the bank, your bank access. And then from those, you start eliminating each one of them to a higher percentage. What is this one relative to? Is it a smaller area, or is it a more wooded area? Is it a deeper area? Find out each area's benefits, and then start using those benefits for the times of year and the conditions that are given to you. And then you'll be able to start piecing things together. Okay, it's springtime. The water's starting to warm up. It is getting sunny in the afternoons, relatively starting to warm. So I'm going to want some shallower water, maybe some shallow mud flats, or something relative close to bridge embankments or rock that's going to stay warmer. And you'll be able to start putting all those little details together. But definitely use Google Earth and Navionics or Lake Masters to start your information research.
I wanted to leave this up here to make sure you saw it. Patriot James said, send him your address, and he'll set you up with some floats there.
Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. I'll send that over to you.
And Brad, he's the YouTube guru here local in Ohio for sinkers.
Yes.
And matter of fact, I have a couple of the sinkers here, and what I'll tell you different, Chris, you may like this, but on Chris's molds, he's not using a do it mold. His 8s and 12s and 16s, everything, they're a flatter sinker with a lower profile, so they're more pancaked out and lay flatter on the bottom. But he says if you need a sinker guy, we'll hook you up, because he's pretty much everybody's sinker guy here on YouTube now.
Either he froze up or went to sleep.
Well, I think I might have put him out.
Froze up.
I think I put him asleep. That's all right. We'll give us a second here to catch up.
Yeah. Oh, you'll get right back in.
Man, I tell you what, we still got 90 people hanging out in the chat. So thank you guys so much. Also, I saw a comment there by Haz that said, after watching Clearview's videos he's been doing on the Abu breakdowns, it gave him the confidence he needs to clean his reel this weekend. So One, I'll say, oh, he already addressed it. That's awesome. I was hoping to do so, help a fellow. Yeah. I know Skip, and that was his mindset all along, was be able to help folks out and give them confidence.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, man, I got the confidence to let Skip clean all my reels. Hey, check this out.
Yeah, you didn't know. Got it.
Fish on!
Yeah, you didn't know how to act after I sent you them pictures of mine apart, huh?
No, yours looked like you dropped it and exploded in a bunch of pieces.
That Squall's got a lot of parts. You spread it out on a T-shirt on a dining room table. You did something.
All right, here's a question. I think I missed it earlier, honestly, but Catfish Chaos wants to know: is it too early to start fishing for skips at Greenup?
I would say yes. For me, I usually don't see them start showing up until April, unless it's and usually it's middle to the end of April. Whenever they starts warming up a little bit.
Yeah. He's concentrating.
Yeah. I'm concentrating. All right.
We're having fun with it. Yeah. If you guys, if you guys got clear views, now we got it going on.
I like that one.
Yeah. If you guys would drop Clearview's link for me, help my buddy out over there, Clearview Outdoors. He could use it. He could use a couple more clicks and a hook set, and he's been doing a good job over there with his DIY stuff. Really like Skip's videos, so check him out if you like what you're seeing. Set the hook on him.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. So I know we had a lot of other questions here. A lot of folks saying they're taking notes and having a good time tonight. So thanks, guys, for the comments. I know that just know what I know of Chris, that this is the kind of stuff that gets him excited when you guys are taking information.
Oh, yeah.
And he's able to share and help. And, I know Chris has heard me say this before, but, Chris is really the inspiration that gave me to do this show on Tuesday nights. The stuff I learned from Chris, and did he freeze again?
No, that's my heart pumping.
Oh, okay. But, hopefully you guys have learned by now that, I absolutely love to help folks out, even taking them out on the boat and going, doing whatever I can. I'm not the greatest guy out there, but I love to share whatever I can to help out somebody out. So those comments and stuff help us out a lot. So Brad says Skip is the Bob Ross of reel service.
See, you started that.
I did because his voice was so soothing. He said, all right, so we're just going to put a little bit of grease in right here. Not too much. No, we're going to put a happy little bearing in over here. That's going to make things go real smooth. Just like that.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Here we go. Chris, what is your biggest fish off of the Ohio River?
Let's see. The biggest would be right at 60 for the Ohio.
Heck yeah.
And then be in the 70s for other places.
70 to other places. Yep. 60. I tell you, we say this a lot in a lot of different shows in different ways, but trophy is relevant to the body of water you're fishing. Yeah. And for Chris catching 60s in our water, like Skip's got 2 60s last year out of our pools. In our pools, that's impressive. That's
that's
100 plus in most areas of the country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's a fantastic fish.
Yeah.
And Uncle Jeep, you know it. Muskrat shares all the better cheddars on the boat, buddy.
That's a requirement right there.
Yeah.
All right. Things are quieting down on the questions and comments there, which is hard to believe. We still got 90 people in chat. Chris, you pulled out all the. You're keeping everybody up tonight.
Hey, this is I'm freezing and my toes are cold.
Uh-oh. Yeah. And you went live at 7.
Yeah. So it's been a good night. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I really, I mean, I wish I was more technical savvy. I wish I was as good at technology as I was at fishing. I mean,
You'd be dangerous.
it would be, you know.
Yeah. You'd be a scary guy then.
But I guess if I'm going to have problems with something, it might as well be technology. What the heck?
Any suggestions on planer boards?
Yeah. I mean, you know, planer boards, I love them. They're another tool that are in the arsenal that, you know, just allow you to cover more ground. Jeff, I would, you know, if you've never used planer boards before, go out, find you an area that there are no snags, and start with, you know, one planer board out each side, and really pick your, you know, it's personal preference. Everybody has their boards of choice and have reasonings behind them. For me,
we know it was a chair, but it still sounds good.
For me, it's offshore tackle boards. You got the mag, which is the big board, and the R12, which is the smaller board. Now, I use the small board for dragon baits, just for, you know, channel cats, blue cats, you know, just plain dragon baits. I will be the first to tell you that offshore boards are not the best pulling boards on the market by no way, shape, or form. Just about any board that is specific to just dragon, Zach Royce, Clear, Parks,
Uncle Lou.
I don't
think you've used those yet, but
you know, there's so many planer boards out there that are specific, you know, just one dynamic boards that just pull, right? And they pull very, very hard to the side. When I first started using planer boards, offshore tackles and church planer boards were the only two that were on the market, and you had to buy them from walleye specific stores. But the main reason that I stay with offshore tackle planer boards is for the mags. These are the big boards. They're a very large board, but I like to do what I call back drifting or dead sticking with planer boards. That is whenever you deploy your planer board in the current with, say, an 8 or 10 ounce weight hanging like a Carolina rig, just like you would dead stick off the boat, but you're letting your boards out and slowing the boat down, and the current is using the board or pushing the board out away from the boat. And I can cover so much water drifting backwards on a ledge, big flat. By doing this, it has changed my whole spectrum of drifting. And I started doing that with offshore boards and continue to do it. Now, is there another board out there that can hold up 8 or 10 ounces of weight? I'm sure there is by now. But I have confidence in these boards, and I would say just find you a board that you find, you know, you have confidence in, and use it. They're a great tool. It's just like bumping. You know, take your time. It's very frustrating to start with, and don't try to overdo it at one time.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I'm going to maybe hit you with a couple more questions. As much as we hate to shut it down, because we still got so many people in chat and we're having a good time. I want to respect your time and know that you got to work tomorrow, and you're in the garage cold and still trying to help everybody out the best you can.
Yeah.
But, I'll fire a couple more questions at you because there's a lot of questions still left. And guys, those of you that wasn't around the beginning of the show or saw Chris go live at 7, Chris, tell everybody your plans for your tackle talk and how more of these shows could be coming in the future.
Yeah, so I used to do a tackle talk every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Of course, you know, things change throughout life, but my plan is to try to get back to doing as many strictly tackle talks. I'd be here in the garage. I'm obviously I got to work on one thing, and that's my internet. You know, it is really just going to be here in the garage, specific to tackle. What I originally started it for was tackle talks, giving people information, just like we did tonight, specifically covering certain things, whether it be from line to reels to planer boards, and doing that on a regular basis as much as I can.
I know we all look forward to it. That's for sure. Because a lot of us learned so much from your first stint of doing them, you know?
Yeah. And the good thing is I'm going to try, as I move forward in the social media stuff and learning, you know, one of the things that I know that I have to work on is scheduling stuff. So whenever I know I'm going to be able to, I will have those things scheduled so people will get a heads up, right, and notice of you know what I'll be talking about, when I'll be talking about it, and things like that.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it, especially those, you know, of course, you know, you're one of the original weekly guys, you know, you're one of the ones that set the bar for us.
Yep.
Here's a question I thought was really good. And after talking to the conservationists and guys that were at the Expo this weekend, Paul asked you your thoughts on the Ohio stocking blue cats in more lakes and how that will affect channel cat size. Because I know they're going to put blue cats in Rocky Fork.
Yes. So initially you won't see no change. And I think that we can have both of them in that body of water. The biggest thing is going to be managing our bait source. You know, as blue cats start to grow, you know, they're going to be eating everything in the lake. You know, shad, bluegill, bass, you know, stripers, whatever's in that lake, body of water that they put them in, they're going to be eating them. So I think managing our bait source is going to, you know, be one of the biggest things, but I think it could actually help our size of channel cats. I think that, you know, the channel cats might actually start to grow a little bit bigger. You know, Rocky Fork is full of channel cats, big and small, but you don't see as many 15, 18-pound channel cats in Rocky Fork is what I think you should. And I think it's because of the high population of channel cats. So I think that it could possibly help that because they'll be fighting for a lot of the same things.
That's a different spin on it. I didn't look at it that way. I actually, you know, kind of thought more the other way, but I totally, I see where that could be beneficial. You know, just like I had a conversation the other day with somebody who thought that commercial fishing was good for their waters because they are taking a lot of the smaller fish out, or taking a lot of fish out that are allowing other fish to grow to their potential.
That was me and you talking about that.
Was it you?
Talking about, we were talking about down here.
I can't remember if it was me, you, and Adam Cook the other night.
That was me and you talking about that.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And I agree with that. You know, commercial fishing in our area has devastated it. You know, because they don't have a handle. But there is definite areas that need the right population control. And that comes down to, you know, people, and I may hurt, you know, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings by saying this, but I may, you know, there's a lot of people that scream catch, photo, release on everything. And I don't agree with that. I 100% believe in selective harvest.
Yep.
I love to eat catfish. And I think if we do it right, you can substantially, you know, grow your resource. Look at what people are doing with deer herds. You know, obviously deer herds grow faster than catfish do, but the same thing. If you got a buck that genetically is not going to produce what it should, you harvest that deer. You know, same thing. If you got animals or, you know, fish that are overpopulating themselves and can't reach that potential, take a few of them out and let them get to where they can be.
Yep.
Chris Hill says Extreme Bait Tanks owe you some commission. After your seminar last weekend, he ended up purchasing an Extreme Bait Tank, and he wanted to thank you. Thank you.
Well,
for that.
Thank you, Chris, for that purchase, buddy. You will love it. You will love it.
We're just going to read this comment here real quick because it looked like he had some experience on that subject. Chris, I think you were right. In Lake Murray, that did happen. Our channel cats are bigger. So are the flatheads. All of our fish are bigger overall, with the blues becoming more stocked in the area. So sounds like, with Paul saying there, they've already seen that type of reaction.
Yeah. And, as long as the regulations are watched very closely, I don't think we'll have an issue. One thing that I don't have experience on Hoover Lake, but I would like to have had experience on Hoover Lake before they were stocked. Right. And then now that they are stocked and they're of size, what's the channel cat, situation in there now?
Well, I've heard that the channel cat sizes, or maybe the numbers are less, but the sizes are better.
And that makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, listen, Chris, I really appreciate you coming in, hanging out with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a good time. That's almost 2 hours, and it flew.
Yeah, it sure did.
And we've seen so many great comments through chat tonight. So thank you guys all so much. Scott, right here, throwing it up there for you. Thanks again for your time and knowledge. We appreciate more than you know.
Absolutely, brother. Anytime.
Mm-hmm. So, but guys, we're going to wrap it up right here, and we'll be back next week. We're going to have Brad on with tidal weights, and we're going to be talking about sinker selection and how important that is for different scenarios. So
it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
Yes,
absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely. I think it was a great subject to talk about, and so we'll have him in here next week, and then the week after that, we're going to have Doc Lane tuning in from Alabama.
Yeah, baby.
So, so thank you guys so much. If you hadn't had a chance to hit the thumbs up on the way out, and we're going to see you guys here next week. Same cat time, same cat channel.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bon pêcher, everybody.
Bon pêcher.